Hey guys, it's Jamie.
And I'm Amanda, and we're with Siouxland Libraries.
And today we're bringing you a very special Kids Discover where we're focusing on Fizzy Science.
So we're talking about Fizzy Science. What are we going to start with?
That's a great question, but before I explain too much,
Okay.
do you trust me?
Of course.
Perfect, because I want to do an activity with you, but I don't want to explain too much.
Okay.
So for this first activity, we're going to need a couple oranges. I've got one all cut up here for us.
All right.
And then we're going to need some fresh baking soda.
Okay.
Normally for our science experiments, I always tell families and kids, like, we don't eat science,
Yes.
right? Because you never know what it is. But these ingredients are both safe to eat and they're controlled. Like, we know that they're safe, they're clean, we can go ahead and eat this.
Okay.
So Amanda, I'm going to have you take one slice of orange. You
Okay.
can pick whichever one.
Okay.
And then I'm going to have you dip it a little bit in baking soda.
Oh,
And then I'm going to step away to give you your space. And I
Okay.
want you to take a bite out of that orange, take a big bite,
Uh-huh.
and then kind of explain what is happening in your mouth and what it feels like.
Okay.
Sound good?
I think so.
Perfect. Let's do it.
All right, so just dip it in here, huh?
Yep, just dip it in.
Okay, so I've got some on there. That looks good. All right, let's try this. Oh, it's fizzy.
Is it fizzy?
Mm-hmm.
So there's like some bubbles.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Does it taste like a normal orange?
A little bit, with a little bit of baking soda on it.
Yes. But what you're noticing is those bubbles, that gas.
Oh yeah, wildly fizzy in my mouth.
Perfect. That's the important thing for you to notice, is that gas and those bubbles.
Whew. Oh, right, what an experiment.
So do you want to put your mask back on and maybe take a drink? And then do you mind if I try?
Yeah, I think you should.
Perfect.
I really think you should.
Perfect. So then I'll go ahead and try too. So like Amanda did, I'm just going to take a slice here, and I'm going to dip it in just a little bit. Don't need too much. I think I got a lot. And here we go. Woo! It's very bubbly. There's a lot of fizzing that happens in your mouth, like a big reaction. It doesn't taste the best, so you don't want to do it a lot, but that bubbles and that gas, that's the thing we're trying to focus on, so perfect. Should we get cleaned up and then maybe explain what's happening?
Yes, I think that we could get a drink and see what's next.
Perfect, thank you. So what did you think of my orange experiment?
It was intense, yeah, yes. But I really could feel like the actual reaction in my mouth, which was super interesting.
Yeah.
And so it's fizzing. What's happening? Like,
yes. So I'm glad you asked. So when we combined like the orange and the baking soda,
okay.
The baking soda is a base,
Right.
and our orange has a lot of acid in it, right? So when
Sure.
those two things combine, they make like a chemical reaction happens in your mouth, and that gas is formed.
Okay.
So I thought we could now maybe show it in a different way.
Okay.
Using a couple other supplies. Have you seen like the baking soda and vinegar volcano experiment?
Right. Yeah. You put in like the liquid and it comes out with.
Yeah, and it looks like
cool.
a volcano's
Yeah,
erupting.
yeah,
So
yeah.
we're going to do that same experiment, but in a bottle with
Okay.
a balloon.
Okay. So we've got our bottle.
Yep, we've got our bottle.
And we're gonna put vinegar in here.
Yep, we're going to put some vinegar in here. Thank you.
Yeah. No problem.
And you don't need a lot of vinegar.
Sure.
Let's see if I can pour without spilling here. Just going to kind of fill the bottom a little bit. Think like that?
Perfect.
Perfect. Let's turn it so we can see very well. And then we're going to take that balloon.
Okay.
And if you could put the funnel just inside, because now we're going to put our baking soda
Oh. Okay.
in the balloon
Sure.
rather than dumping it right in right away.
Okay.
And I'm just going to do like, first we'll do half a tablespoon. Thanks for, you have to kind of shake it sometimes to get it to go down into the balloon.
Okay. So that's all we need.
I might do a little bit more,
All right.
just like that. Perfect.
All right. So then we can take the funnel out.
Yep, you can take the funnel out. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the balloon over the top, but I'm not going to flip it over because
Okay.
I want to keep our vinegar and our baking soda separate right now.
All right.
So do you mind holding onto the bottle
Yeah.
so I don't tip it? thank you. And we're just gonna put the balloon on top like this.
Okay.
Okay, so, when they combine, we're gonna see that chemical reaction happening.
Okay.
So I want you to kind of watch what happens to the balloon and maybe the bottle or even our liquid inside, the vinegar inside.
Sure.
You ready?
Yeah, totally. I'm super excited.
Okay, here we go. So I'm just gonna kind of hold it up.
Whoa!
Yes.
Oh
So you can see all those bubbles
it's blowing the balloon up.
and it's blowing the balloon up.
That's so cool.
But we didn't add any more air in there.
No.
So how is that balloon getting blown up?
Well, the fizzing looks like what was happening in my mouth for sure. That's what it felt like.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming this is just like trapping that air or gas that's coming up.
Yep, you got it. So when
That's
our
so cool.
vinegar and our baking soda, came into contact, we had that chemical reaction happening. They're
Okay.
sharing molecules, they're changing themselves, and they create carbon dioxide.
Okay.
And that's what those bubbling is, all that fizzing, and that gas is then being kind of pushed up because it's rising,
Right.
and it's filling up our balloon.
That is so cool.
Right.
That is so cool. You can really, it's crazy to see it actually like forming like that. That's so neat.
Yeah.
So what happens if we put more vinegar or more baking soda?
I mean, you might have a bigger reaction.
Can we try it?
Sure.
Awesome.
Let's do
Let's
it.
do that. When we're talking about releasing carbon dioxide and there was that big fizziness, it really made me think about like soda. Is that what's happening in here? Is there carbon dioxide causing all those bubbles?
Yeah, it is. So any kind of carbonated drink or liquid,
Okay.
what happens is they compress all that carbon dioxide into the liquid. And so it's just kind of hanging out in the liquid right now,
Sure.
but as soon as you release, open the top or twist it open, you're gonna hear, if you wanna try
Okay.
it, that kind of noise.
Yeah, and hear the bubbles.
Yeah, you hear that gas kind of releasing quickly,
Uh-huh.
and then if you hold the drink close to your ear,
Yeah.
you hear those bubbles. So if
Right.
you're drinking Sprite or root beer, you're gonna see all those bubbles in your drink,
Yeah.
and it's carbon dioxide.
So it's like the same concept.
It is.
Oh, that's so cool. Okay, so we're going to put more baking soda in this
We'll
time.
do a little bit more if you want to put the funnel in for me.
Okay.
So last time I did about half a tablespoon, so we'll try and do a full tablespoon this time. We'll see if anything different happens.
All right, I'm excited.
You always like to take things to the next level.
It's
so
true.
I'm
It's
not
true.
surprised. All right, so do you mind holding the bottle for
Oh,
me
yep,
again? I just don't want to
absolutely.
tip it. Thank you. All right.
All right.
Are you ready?
I am so ready.
Okay.
Whoa! Oh, there's still some in the balloon.
So it didn't get too much bigger, so it could be that maybe the vinegar is what's limiting us.
Okay.
And next time if we did it again, we would use even more vinegar, and maybe the same amount of baking soda.
Sure. Yeah, and really that's like the fun part of science and trying it at home, see which one really makes the balloon get full for you or not.
Yeah.
But
I mean,
that's
it's still a pretty well-inflated balloon.
It's super cool. There's no doubt about it.
Yes.
So I have an idea.
Okay.
I think there's a way for us to take this, like you said, to the next level.
I'm not surprised. Let's do
How
it.
about we build a rocket with this chemical reaction?
I'm in. Let's do it.
All right, cool. Okay, so we have all of our pieces to make a rocket.
Perfect.
What we're gonna need, 20-ounce bottle,
Okay.
and then you wanna wrap a rubber band on the outside and make sure it's pretty tight.
Okay.
Okay, and then we have some paper, and we're gonna need 3 fins in a cone.
Oh, it's like go on the outside
Yeah.
and then a cone for the top?
Cone for the top.
Okay.
Exactly. So what we're gonna do is get started on that, and then we'll go to the next piece. So can you help me make the fins?
Yeah, I'd love to.
And of course, we brought some colors, to make it a little fun.
Yeah.
Awesome. We did a great job on this rocket.
I'm pretty impressed.
I like it. So we've got everything built. Now we need some fuel.
Ooh, okay, so how do we do that?
All right, so we're gonna use that same chemical reaction.
Okay.
And I'm gonna need a Kleenex.
Okay, a tissue.
A tissue, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
And then I will take some of our baking soda.
Awesome, I'm just gonna slide the rocket over a little bit.
All right, so, and then you can probably put about half a tablespoon on there.
Okay.
And then we're gonna put that to the side. And what we're gonna do is just kind of create a little pouch for that.
Oh, sure.
And I'm gonna have you help me here.
Okay.
If you don't mind. So I've got a piece of string and we're
Yeah.
just gonna tie that around. But you've gotta remember, you're going to put this in the top.
Oh, in the opening of the
in
bottle.
The opening of the bottle. So you don't wanna get it too big. You kinda wanna think about that as you're putting it together, so.
Perfect.
All right, do you wanna give that a shot?
Yeah, of course. So we'll just give it a little tie.
Yep. And you want to make sure it stays together, so you're doing great. Perfect. Very good.
Okay.
All right, so now it's in there, and I'm actually going to cut off the excess since we don't
yeah.
need all of that.
Trim it up a bit.
Yeah, and a little bit of the string off. Okay. And the next step, now that we have this ready to go, we're going to put some vinegar in our rocket. So if you could, I will hold the rocket for you if you don't mind, and then we will pour some of that in there.
Perfect. And we don't need a lot, do we?
No, kind of like we had before, towards the bottom of the bottle.
Okay, perfect. Okay.
Yeah, so just a little bit, and that's all we need.
And we do have one other supply, right?
We've got the cork, and that's a super important one to note. So when we get to our launching area,
yeah,
we are going to put this inside and then quickly insert that cork and flip it over.
so then the cork kind of seals it up.
Right.
So as that gas is being created, it's building up pressure, and eventually it'll push the cork off and hopefully fly up in the air.
That's the plan.
Oh, I can't wait.
All right, you ready to try this out?
Let's do it.
Cool. All right, so we have our rocket that we built, and we've got a tarp down because some of the vinegar is going to come out.
Yep.
And we came out here because we've got a higher ceiling, which we're
Yes.
going to need. All right, so our baking soda,
Baking soda.
vinegar,
Yep.
they're going to mix, and they're going to be our fuel.
I can't wait.
All right, so we'll take this off. And when you put in this, you just want to be careful. You don't want to drop it down until you're absolutely ready.
Because we need to put the cork on
Yeah,
right after we drop it, right?
exactly. So you ready?
Yep.
Okay, here we go. And then we're going to put it down. Yeah. So they're going to interact and mix.
Because right now is the...
That was so good.
I love it. That was awesome.
Right? It is just like rocket fuel. So
Yes.
super cool.
And it's really cool to see what happens when you trap that gas in the bottle. Eventually, it's going to pop the cork out and fly up.
I know. It's so cool to see that motion. It worked really well.
Yes, I love it. So this was so much fun, and I loved it. But let's go back to the program room and show some books that highlight other science experiments with chemical reactions.
Ooh, I love it.
Let's do it. I loved that rocket experiment, and that was so cool how it launched up, and I just loved it.
Yeah,
Great.
it's so fun.
So I thought we could look at books that had other chemical reactions. So I picked this one, which is Step-by-Step Science Experiments in Chemistry, which I think you know is my favorite.
Yeah.
And so this has a lot more chemical reactions in it. But then what I also love is it's got all these pictures to show you like
very
how to do the
cool.
experiment, which I think is really helpful.
Super helpful. I love that.
Yeah.
So I like to take things to the next level.
Yes.
And this is about Guinness World Records of Science, which is super cool. So you can see, you know, how fast is the fastest car, how high can rockets really go, all sorts of really cool things. And then it's also got different science experiments explained in it too. So lots of fun and lots of just really cool information.
I love it.
Well, I had an amazing time today learning all about your chemical reaction. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.